Hello and very warm welcome to the sessions on Indian economy. So today we are discussing a very important topic related to circular flow of income as well as expenditure. So first let's understand what are primary factors of production. First let's talk about production. When we say production, it is about converting inputs into output, converting inputs into output, or we can say converting raw materials into finished goods. So it is about production. What do we mean by production? Production means converting inputs into output, converting inputs into output, or converting raw materials into finished goods, converting inputs into outputs or raw materials into finished goods. Raw materials into finished goods. Now, when we say factors of production, what things are required to have a production, right? For example, if I want to produce this particular marker, what things I need? I need an industrial setup, I need a factory, right? So one thing is necessary, that is land. One thing is necessary, that is related to land, right? Now we will go into the details what land includes, but first let's talk about production of this particular marker. So I need a particular area, right? A particular region where I can do the production activity. So that is land. Now what more I need? I need a labor which will work for me, right? A human element, right? A human element, a labor. I'm not talking about machine. A machine will be used, but other than machine, a person, a labor will be there to get involved in this production activity. He will be involved in production activity. So land is needed, a region, labor is needed, a human, and what else is needed? That is some machines. Some machines are needed. I hope you can recall the discussion over capital good versus consumer good. So when we say capital good, the goods which are being used for further production of goods and services. That means when we say machine is a capital good because it will be used for production of this particular marker. So land, labor, and capital. Now capital is fund that is used to buy capital goods. Capital is a fund that is used to purchase capital goods, right? And then we need one person who will arrange all these factors of production, who will take risk of the business, right? So that is known as what? Entrepreneur. Or it can also be called as enterprise, right? So there are two human elements here. Labor is a human element, right? Entrepreneur is also a human, right, which will be arranging all these factors of production. So these are known as what? Factors of production. These are known as factors of production. We have already understood what is production, right? Converting raw materials into finished goods, and these are factors of production. Now let's understand what these includes. When we say land, it does not only mean the land which is there, not only that physical land. In fact, it means all natural resources that are available to us. Natural resources, for example, rivers are also included in land. So rivers, mountains, rivers, mountains. For example, when you are producing electricity, with the help of solar panel, then those sun rays that are available to you free of cost by nature, that will also be considered under land. So what do we mean by land? Land means all natural resources that are utilized in the production of goods and services, right? So that is land. For example, natural resources like rivers, mountains, etc. So all these things which will also be considered under land. When we say labor, labor is a human, right? Human element involved in production of goods and services. This human can be skilled or unskilled, both skilled, unskilled, right? Semi-skilled. All these people will be part of labor, who are involved in factor of production. For example, when I am teaching you, I am involved in production of this teaching services, this education service, and I am a labor, right? So economy does not differentiate between skilled labor and unskilled labor. Everyone is a labor in economy, right? So this is labor, human element involved in the production of goods and services, and it can be he or she can be skilled, unskilled, or semi-skilled. Now capital is nothing but the fund which is being utilized, or fund which is being used to purchase what? Capital goods, to purchase capital, right? Money is needed. For example, as you can see here, this digital board is there, this camera, etc., all these studio setup, these are capital goods because these are being used for further production of goods and services, that is the education services that you are receiving here, right? So this is capital good which are being used for further production of goods and services, used for further production of goods and services, further production of goods and services, right? This is capital. And then there is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a human element. Human, again, a person is involved, human is involved, which who arranges all these factors of production, and he is taking risk of the business, right? Now please understand, I hope these are clear. Land, labor, there are some they are denoted by letters also. So land, labor, capital is denoted by K, and entrepreneurship or entrepreneur is denoted by E. So L, L, K, E are factor of production, right? Capital we denote by letter K, consumption we denote by letter C, right? Now please understand, these land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, all these are provided by households. So that will take us to another discussion that is related to sectors in economy, right? Sectors in economy. One is households. Household is one of the sector of economy. Household, right? Household refer to an individual or a family, right? Individual or a family. You are an individual or a family, that will be considered as household. For example, Mr. Mukesh Ambani is a household. Ambani family is also a household, right? So these are households. Second sector is firm, right? Firms which are involved, these are production units, right? Or producing units, production units or producing units which are involved in production of goods and services, which are involved in production of goods and services, right? These are firms, right? And this third is known as government, right? Third is known as what? Government. There is one more type of firm known as financial institutions, example banks, etc., that are also part of firm, but since they are involved in different kind of activity other than production of goods and services, so they can be classified separately as well as a financial institution. But government is also there, government which levy taxes, which provide public administration, which maintains law and order, etc. So all this governance activity, right? Governance activities, right? Government we need for governance, as Prime Minister says, right? Then these are three major sectors. We can classify one of the sector or sub part of the firms as financial institutions as well. These are part of closed economy. One more sector can be there if economy is interacting with other countries also or other economies also, that is external sector. That is external sector, right? Now these are sectors in economy. Now please understand, whatever factors of production we have discussed, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, all these factors of production are owned by households. So one thing that you need to keep in mind, that these households are owners of factor of production. Households are owners of factors of production. These are known as primary factor of production as well. We are not going into the detail of this. For example, secondary factor of production like electricity and all. As of now, we are not going into the details of it. As we will proceed with the topics, you will be able to understand it better. Right, so these are primary factors of production. And who owns these factor of production? Who owns these factor of production? Households own this factor of production. For example, land will be owned by some person, right, or some family, right? So that is land. Labor will be provided by an individual or a family. So again, labor is also owned by household, or household provides land, household also provide labor. Who will provide capital? Either a person or a family. The people who are having surplus money, they will be providing what? They will be providing capital, right? They will be providing capital. So again, household is the owner of factor of production. Again, entrepreneur, right? The person who is involved in business, the person who is arranging all these factor of production, that person is also an individual, right, or a family. So it is also provided by household. So household is the owner of all factors of production, that we need to understand, right? So household is the owner of factors of production. Fine. These sectors are clear. Household, individual or family. Firms are production units which are involved in production of goods and services. Government govern all those governance activities that are there, right? So it depends upon the type of economy as well. In capitalist economy, they will not be involved in production of goods and services, rather they will be having some regulatory mechanism. That's it. When we are talking about socialist economy, the role of government is little higher, right? So all those activities will be controlled by the government, all economic activities will be controlled by the government, etc., that are there. We will be discussing at a certain point of time. Financial institutions, for example, banks, stock market, capital market, etc., that also we will discuss in a while, right? So I hope these are sectors in economy that you are aware of, right? Now let's see how they interact. Let's see how they interact. First we will see two sector model. First we will see two sector model, right? Now let's understand. We are having interaction between households and firms. We are having interaction between household and firms, right? Let's see how they interact. Firms which are involved in production of goods and services. So what firms need? Firms need factors of production. And who are owners of factors of production? Who are owners of factors of production? The households. So households will provide what? Factors of production. Please see the direction of arrow. Household is providing factors of production. So they are providing factors of production. What are factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. They are being provided by household. Fine. Firms have utilized this. Now, why a household will provide their land, their labor, their capital, or their entrepreneurship skills? That we need to understand with the help of one topic that is related to factor payments. Factor payments. Now let's understand what are these factor payments. What are the factors of production? Factors of production are four that we have seen, right? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Right? Now, when someone is providing their land or labor or capital or entrepreneurship, what is the motivation? Why someone will provide their land? So they are providing this because of factor payments, because of factor payments that they receive. The factor payments that they will receive, right? For example, the person who is providing his land, he will be getting rent. The person who is providing labor, he will be getting wages or salary. When it is being provided on daily basis, it is wage. When it is providing for a period of time, that is salary, right? As of now, you consider it same, wage or salary. Capital, when someone is giving you money, right, to invest in your business, what that person will be getting? He will be getting interest on that particular money, right? That particular amount, that particular capital. and one who is arranging all these factors of production, he will be getting what? He will be earning profit of the business, right? He will be earning profit of the business. Now, I hope this is clear. The person who is providing land, he will be getting rent. Person who is providing labor, right, he will be getting wages or salary. Person who is providing capital, he will be getting interest. Person who is arranging all these factors of production, he will be having profit of the business, right? Now, one more thing we have to understand. In initial days, what used to happen is people who were having all these resources, right? The person who owns the land, the person who is having lots of money available to them, that means they can use their own capital and they can arrange and they can take they can provide their entrepreneur skills, right? So the entrepreneur will also be provided by one person only, right? So earlier what used to happen, all these factors of production except labor was used to be associated with only one person, one household, or one family, one individual. So whatever you will be getting from factors of production, for example this rent, or for example this labor you are taking from outside, capital is available to you, profit will also be taken by you, because you are having your own entrepreneurship skills involved in this particular production activity. So your own land is being utilized, your own capital is being utilized, your own entrepreneurship skills are being utilized. So these rent, interest and profit, all these things will go to one person. So these are known as operating surplus. These are known as what? Operating surplus. That means except wage, except, because this you have to give to the labor that you have outsourced, right, that you have employed. But other than wages or salary, whatever amount that is coming from this production activity, everything is belongs to you, that is operating surplus. So except salary or wage, this is known as what? Operating surplus. Now what happened basically, with the passage of time, production activity started becoming complex, right? Started becoming complex, and production activity or the factors of production got distributed among many people. So that's why now land is available to a different person, labor is provided by different people, capital is provided by different people, entrepreneurship skills are being provided by different people. So now operating surplus is having less significance, but in earlier days it was more important, right? Now, when households are providing land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, what will they get? Why they are providing these factors of production? So they will be getting what? Factor payments. Firms will be giving factor payments. Firms will be giving factor payments to these households, right? For example, for land they will be getting rent, labor wages, capital interest, right? Capital interest on entrepreneurship profit, right? These will be given by firms to households. Now, firms have produced goods and services, right? Firms are producing units, they are producing something, so they have produced goods and services which will be utilized by households. So they are producing goods and services. They are producing goods and services, and these goods and services will be utilized by households. So why firms will give these goods and services to households? Because in exchange of money, and what money household will be giving to firms, that is known as consumption expenditure. That is known as what? Consumption expenditure. Consumption expenditure, right? Later I will define this term as private final consumption expenditure, but as of now we are keeping it simple, consumption expenditure. They will be consuming goods and services. We have already seen what is consumption, the goods and services which you are using for your satisfaction, right? So goods and services will be provided by firms to households, and households will be giving expenditure or consumption expenditure to firms. So please understand, this is income of household, this is expenditure of firm, this is income of firm, this is expenditure of household. That is why they are known, this is known as what? Circular flow of income and expenditure, right? Circular flow of income and expenditure. Whatever is being spent by household, that is income of firm. Whatever is being spent by firm, that is income of household, right? So this is two sector model, very simple thing, right? I hope you can understand the basic idea in this particular diagram, right? How household and firms are interacting with each other. Now we can make we can introduce one more sector here. This is household and this is firm, right? And now we can introduce few more here. For example, this we have already understood. Household will be providing land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. So land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. This firms will be providing rent, wage, interest and profit, right? And this firms will be providing goods and services, to household, and household will be giving what? This consumption expenditure, right? This is what we have understood in the previous diagram. Now we are introducing one more sector here, that is known as financial institution. As of now, let's keep it simple. Let's not talk about financial market, capital market, etc. Let's see, financial institutions only include banks, right? Suppose we are talking about banks. Now what you will be doing in bank? You will be saving your money, right? Whatever surplus amount you are having, you are putting in bank account. So this is the kind of savings that you are doing. What banks will be providing you in exchange of that? Banks are giving you some interest, some motivation to keep your money in bank, right? So you are putting all your savings into banks and banks are giving you some interest over your saving amount. Similarly, firms can also put their savings in bank accounts and firms will be also getting some interest, not in current account, but if firms are involved in fixed deposits, etc., then firms can also earn some interest on their deposited amount. Now, households are putting their surplus money here. Firms are in the need of money, right? So for example, firms require a lot of capital for purchasing capital goods, right? For example, this is one digital board here. Suppose I need to open one more studio here, so I need one more I need to acquire land, I need to take land on rent. For example, I need to set up this particular board, this camera, etc. So I am in a need of money. So when I am in the need of money, I can take loan from the bank. So firms can take loan from the bank, and on loan you have to pay what? Interest. You have to pay what? Interest, right? Similarly, households, personal loan, vehicle loan, marriage loan, education loan. So households are also in the need of loan and they will also pay interest, right? I hope this idea is clear here. Now let's understand, if I can introduce one more sector here, I can introduce one more sector. I hope this is clear. There is no confusion here. We have introduced only one sector, that is financial sector, where this is known as resource mobilization also, right? You are taking surplus money and wherever there is a deficit of money, whosoever is in the need of money, you are providing money to them, right? And entire business is of interest, right? When you are putting your money, you are getting interest. When you are taking loan, you are paying interest, right? Now let's talk about one more entity here, that is related to government. Now, what things government is providing to us and what we are providing to the government, right? First thing first, government can also have surplus money, so government can put their money in banks, right? So government can put their money, savings or some amount in bank. Government will also earn interest on it. Similarly, government can be in the need of money, so government can take loan also. right? Government is the largest borrower. Oh no, firms are the largest borrower, right? Firms are the largest borrower in economy than the government. And government, if government is taking loan, government will have to pay interest, right? Now, what this is the relation between government and financial institution. What is the relation between household and government? Household pay taxes to the government. Government provides subsidies and other transfer payment. Ladki Bahin Yojana of Maharashtra government giving 1500 rupees per month to women household, right? Women member of the family. So subsidy or transfer payment is being provided by the government. Subsidy, for example, this food subsidy, 1 rupees a kg, 2 rupees a kg, 3 rupees a kg, food grains, 5 kg per person per month, right? It is being provided by the government. So subsidies or transfer payment is also being provided by the government. So transfer payment. Now, let's talk about India. There are government entities, government firms, public sector enterprises, public sector undertakings. That means state-owned enterprises. They are also involved in what? They are also involved in production of goods and services. So household will provide what? Household will be providing what? Again, what governments need for producing goods and services? Again, factors of production. So land, labor, capital, but not entrepreneurship, because government will be the entrepreneur in this particular case. So land, labor, capital will be provided by household to the government, and government will be providing what? Factor payments. So for land, they will be providing rent. For labor, they will be providing wages or salary, and for capital, they will be providing interest. Government bonds, for example, when people are purchasing it, right? Now let's talk about firms. What firms are providing to the government? So first thing first, firms are paying taxes. Government is also giving some subsidies to firms. Subsidies to firms. Now, when firms are producing goods and services, government also purchase lot of goods and services. Government purchase stationery, government purchase chair, table, right? All things. Government is also spending a lot in economy. So, firms are providing goods and services to the, see all here you have to keep your eye on arrow. From firms to government. What is coming here? Goods and services. Goods and services, right? Goods and services. And government is paying what? Government, this is expenditure of the government, so we call it government expenditure. We call it government expenditure. And that is how we differentiate this expenditure of the government with this by saying private final consumption expenditure, right? So this is 4 sector model. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sector model, income and expenditure that we can see. Now, one more sector. How we can include one more sector here? So we can include one more sector here by, please pay attention. Now this is the sector of, these are the sectors of one economy. For example, India. Now we can have same interaction taking place in another country, right? Household, firm, financial institution, government. They are also having similar interaction, suppose, right? Now, we can also have our firms can interact with foreign firms. Our households can interact with foreign households. So this is known as external sector. External sector. This is the difference between closed economy and open economy. When we talk about only this closed economy, when we include external sector and when we are having our households interacting with households of other country, other economy, other nation, it becomes external sector, interaction with external sector, and it is part of open economy, right? So these are 4 sectors of economy. I hope you must have enjoyed these interaction well. We will be talking more on this in the next class. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.